Hey, hello out there to our Recruits family. We hope that everybody is staying safe and staying healthy. I'm Coach Key. I'm joined today by the Assistant Director of Recruits Baseball Club. He's also the head 12U coach. And he's also the head varsity coach at Webster Groves High School, Dave Wiggins. It's safe to say that you are a man of many hats.
Absolutely. I have a lot of hats in my closet as well. So.
Well, could you start us off by talking a little bit about your baseball background?
Yeah. I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And I'm the oldest of three children. My dad was never really into sports. My mom played intramural softball in college and always kind of had a passion for stick and ball sports. So she signed me up for T-ball when I was 5 years old. That's really my first, ever glimpse of baseball in general. Got me a blue plastic glove. I'm left-handed. This is my left hand. And there weren't many gloves available for, little 5-year-old lefties. So I had a blue plastic glove, and I took it to the movie theater. I slept with it. I held on to that thing at all times and just fell in love with the game from a very young age. Go from playing T-ball into playing select summer ball, going up into high school, played high school ball, played Legion ball back when Legion ball was much more respectable. When I was done playing high school ball, ended up going to Culver Stockton, which is an NAIA college up in Canton, Missouri. That was my first kind of taste of what high level baseball was really like. There was a harsh reality of how hard you had to work, not just at baseball, but at getting the field ready, building bullpens, the excessive amounts of running that we had to do. And, I'm an 18-year-old freshman who never really knew what it was like to work out, never really understood hard work in general. And, going off to school and, seeing guys that, were from LA, Naples, Florida, Puerto Rico, Alabama, and just some of these crazy talented NAIA baseball players, just because they couldn't go Division I because of grades or behavioral issues. That's where they ended up, was the Heart of Athletic America Conference in Culver Stockton. Just seeing how good some of these guys were and how small I was, how weak I was, and how underprepared I was for college baseball was huge. It was eye-opening. And I wish that I had had something like the recruits back when I was in high school to prepare me for college baseball, because I was not ready. I didn't throw hard. I was weak. I was slow. I really didn't offer much outside of I had a pretty good off-speed pitch, and my command was solid. But I never really was good enough to pitch there. So I had to transfer away and go to Maryville University, a Division III school back in the day. It's now Division II. Got to pitch a little bit at Maryville. Never was really that good. I was just a reliever. I was not a good college baseball player. There's no doubt in my mind. But I really learned a lot in college about how to coach the game, how not to coach the game, the different ins and outs, things that I learned sitting on the bench, talking to teammates, sitting in the bullpen, talking with my other relief pitcher buddies. And I ultimately decided my senior year of college that I didn't want to play baseball. I wanted to coach it. So got into coaching ball. And, that's kind of when my playing career, outside of the men's league glory days that, Coach Key and we started a men's baseball team called the Spartans back in the mid 2000s. And we were kind of a dynasty type men's league team. And I actually got to hit in that league, and I was actually much better there than I ever was in college. So that was kind of fun, but it's one of those things where you start to understand the game more, you start to learn it more. You just become a much better player in general.
Thanks for sharing that. Quite the journey, indeed. I do remember those Spartan days fondly.
Yes.
So right now, there's a lot of options out there for club baseball, baseball training. What makes recruits in the practice factory the premier way to go?
Yeah. outside of our facility being set up for training baseball players, we're not a rental facility. We don't have a ton of team rentals in there. We don't have a big open space where we open the facility up. We've got 4 really wide cages where we can do in-depth hitting lessons. We have a live area where pitchers can face hitters, where hitters can face a machine. And then we have our pitching/throwing development area. We're player driven. We're player development focused. We don't rest on what we did back in the day. You guys just heard me say I wasn't a good baseball player. I'm not going to lie to anybody and say that I was. But that doesn't mean I can't be a good coach and I can't teach kids. I teach players right now who are way better than I ever was. And it's really cool to see how good these kids are and how much better they could be the more they learn. Todd Steiner, senior director, myself, Cameron Barra, and Tyler Michelle, we're the 4 full-time employed guys there. And we are always looking for new ideas. We're always searching for reasons why what we know now could be wrong or how to validate what we know. We're not just going to sit back with, this is how I pitched when I was in college. This is how you're going to pitch. Or, Coach Tyler thought, swing down on the ball for the longest time. And, then he came in and he started looking at different videos and really understanding the swing. And now he's teaching kids a different hitting philosophy than what he was taught when he grew up. Just always constantly searching for ways to help make these players better outside of what we already know. We're never going to sit there and tell you we know everything. However, if you talk to Cam, Tyler, Todd, or myself, we're going to be very confident in what we do know and that what we teach is the absolute best way to teach at the time. We're confident because we do the research, we watch the videos, we do the slow motion analysis, we talk to different people in the industry. We have a very wide array of background of who we know, what we know, and we're never just going to be satisfied with what we're teaching at this current time. And I think we're one of the more progressive clubs in the area because of that. We were one of the very first clubs to really dive deep into the swing and teach kids how an elite swing is taught. We were one of the first clubs to start implementing weighted balls and the drive line protocols, what have you. Every club has followed suit. There's clubs that have very talented players and very talented coaches who know probably as much as we do. But I would like to believe that we were one of the first ones to really jump into this progressive and data-driven coaching strategy when it comes to training our players.
Awesome. So speaking of the way that you train players, the way that you prepare, I know you talked about the analytics, the data, the technology, and I know that all of that has become a part of your EPD program. Could you speak a little bit about EPD, what it is, what that looks like, and how it gets players ready to be better pitchers?
Yeah, it's coined EPD, Elite Pitching Development. However, it's throwing development. It's teaching anyone who plays any position, boy or girl, how to throw a projectile. A girl how to throw a softball, a boy how to throw a baseball. It's working on different biomechanical movements to help these kids, these people become better throwers in general. In order to be a good pitcher, you have to be a good thrower. So we really kind of break it down when we initially get a student in on how can we make this individual a better thrower long before we consider how do we make their slider better? How do we make their fastball command better? It's first, how do we maximize the potential for velocity, efficiency, and arm health, arm strength, so the particular athlete doesn't break down. We use many different methods. Some kids are strictly weighted balls, plyo-care balls. Some kids like bands more. Some kids don't like throwing the weighted balls as much. They're more field out guys. It's not a one-size-fits-all program. It's a come in, let us know what you need to work on. We'll put you through a little assessment. We'll let you know what we think you need to work on, and we'll come up with a plan from there. We're very communicative with our elite pitching development students. They come to us, they let us know what they need to work on. We make sure they understand what we feel they need to work on most. And then we put a plan together of, okay, how do we achieve that end goal? It's a progressive program. If you come to us in October, you're not going to get on the mound right away. We're going to work on throwing. We're going to work on building arm strength, arm speed, so that we're ready to get on the mound come January. This isn't a 30-minute pitching lesson where you get on the mound, you throw 80 pitches, and I tell you what's right and what's wrong. It's just not how pitching development is going. And we've seen players just go through the roof with our program. We have kids who've bought in hook, line, and sinker. One to just highlight, and I know everybody has heard of him, is Brendan Wilson. He came to us as a 12-year-old. He's always been a big, strong kid. He's always thrown hard, had some command issues, didn't throw nearly as hard as we thought he could. And, the kid, through blood, sweat, and tears alone, 5, 6, 7 days a week in our facility, doing every single thing we've asked him to do. And, he's a 2022, was that a young sophomore. He's touched 90, 91 before. He's got a couple of full ride offers already. And this can happen not just to the biggest, strongest athletes. This can happen to the kids who really buy in and put in the work and are furious in their pursuit to be as good as they can be. And Brennan's just one small example of the many that we have. I use him just because I've known him the longest. He's been in our facility probably over 1,000 times since he's been a recruit. And, he takes pride in being an elite pitching development student. He takes pride in being a recruit. And it means so much more to him than some kids who, just play for us and don't do the extra training. And, for to each his own. But for Brendan, you really see the amount of hard work and the perseverance that has turned him into one of the best pitchers in the country in his class. And that's pretty cool to see kind of how he's progressed throughout the way with our program.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always great to, see our players grow, and, thanks for explaining the program to us. It sounds like you guys have a great thing going there. So let's switch it up a little bit. Okay, we talked a lot about the recruits, a lot about programming. I want to ask you specifically as Coach Wiggins, what is the most important thing that you hope that a player that plays for you learns?
That's a really good question. You can get a lot of different answers. As you know, you and I are, we're pretty unique in our coaching style and how we coach our boys, how we coach our girls, softball and baseball. The biggest thing I would hope that they learn is how to play the game at a level higher than they've ever played before. Not just how to swing a bat, not how to throw a ball. That can be taught. But coaching really breaks down to how can you mentally become more prepared to play the game as it progresses? Because as the game gets tougher, you have to step up your mental acuity for the game. So it wouldn't be, I would hope they would, learn how to be a better hitter or learn how to be a better pitcher. It's more, how can they learn how to develop a mental skill set to help them progress through the game? How can middle infielders understand certain things about their position that lead to getting outs in different ways than what they learned when they were 8, 9, 10? How can my 12U shortstop understand, look, if a ball's hit to a certain spot on the field and there's runners on base, the play's to 3, it's not the 1. The play's to 2, it's not the 1. Understanding the higher level parts of the game that are not really taught when kids are learning how to play the game that really need to be taught. Understanding cuts and relays, understanding where to go before the ball's hit, after the ball's hit, understanding if you're in the outfield and the ball's hit nowhere in your direction, that you still have an assignment. You still need to go to a certain spot on the field depending on where the ball's thrown, where the base runners are. So just the higher level thinking type things, I think, is more important to me than me feeling like I made them a better player. I don't think I can physically make someone a much better player in general without stepping up their mental part of this game.
Sounds good. I can agree with what you're saying there.
I figured.
All right, so time to go back into the memories box. All right.
Oh boy.
As a member of the recruits, what is your top memory?
Whew. Man, it'll make me think back here. Yeah, I gotta say, early on in the journey, Todd and I got to coach together, and we took a fall team to Lens Field. And I know if Todd's watching this, he's gonna love this. When Lens Field was new and there were only about 2 fields and not many fields were turf yet. You know, we love the idea of playing on turf, so we take a fall team to Lens Field every fall. My goodness, we took one team, had some kids who, you know, only played for us for about a year or so, but they were just fun to watch play. They were athletic, they were fierce, and we went to Lens Field one fall. I think we scored 55 runs and let up 4, just beat the living crap out of every team we played. You know, had multiple home run games from different guys. That was a lot of fun. And we actually ended that weekend by running a play that you probably don't like too much. We call it the Crit 9. It's the AB bunt play. You know, we had runners on second and third with nobody out. There's a 2-umpire crew. We decided we were going to double steal with runners at second and third, and we bunted the ball down the first base line. A lot of things have to happen for this play to work. You've got to have speed on the bases. You've got to have a guy who can bunt the ball down the first base line, and all the parts worked together. We ended up squeezing home 2 runs, and the other team flipped out, lost it because our guy from second cut third base by a good 35 to 40 feet. But the umpires can't see it because the home plate umpire is looking down the line to see if the ball's fair, and the field umpire is looking to make sure the guy at first is out or safe. While that's happening, your runner from second is probably running in right behind where the third baseman would be. So the other team freaks out because everyone can see that you clearly missed the base, and the only ones that can't see you miss the base are the only 2 that matter, and that's the umpires. So the bench is clear. Parents are on the field. There's fist fights that are trying to ensue. It was pure bedlam. We were winning, I think, 11-1 at the time in the 4th inning or something, and they just called the game. I think they gave the other team the win because they said we cheated, but we knew who won in the end. So Lens Field will always hold a very, very near and dear place in my heart, and I know Todd's as well.
It's a beautiful memory. And yes, you know, I do hate that play.
I know, yeah. It can be done without cheating. You just got to have real speed on second.
True. So, you know, before I let you go, you know, obviously, you know, the nation's in the state that it is. You know, we've got a pandemic going on all across the nation. We've got stay-at-home orders. High school and college seasons have been canceled. You know, what advice do you have to the baseball player, the softball player who's at home and has been, you know, unable to get out and work on their game in the ways that they traditionally would at this point?
You got to be creative. You got to take the resources that you have available and find a way to keep working. I've seen so many players in our club. A lot of my 12U guys, they're in their basements. They have tees set up. They have, we had a 16-year-old kid sent us a video the other day of him hitting a heavy bag with his bat, working on getting stronger. It's time to really think outside the box and get creative. For all you guys who want to become better throwers, if you don't have plyo care balls, if you don't have wrist weights, go outside and play long toss. Push your arm to the limits right now. We're not sure when you're going to get back on the mound. It's time to build arm strength. It's time to build arm speed. For the hitters, swing your bat relentlessly. It doesn't matter what you have available. You can work on your swing right now. You can work on your timing with front toss at an outdoor baseball field. You know, there's so much that you can be doing right now that you may not understand that you can, and just don't fall into the trap of, oh, well, you know, my facility's closed, so I really can't get better. The kids that you're going to be battling these next couple years in high school, that you're going to be battling for college roster spots and scholarships, they're working their butts off right now, and you need to make sure you are as well if you want to stay up there with them. You know, we're in a really weird part in everyone's lives right now where we don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know how long the facility's going to be closed, when we're going to be playing baseball games again. Don't fall into a lull of, oh, I stayed up till 4 a.m. playing MLB The Show, and, I'm waking up at 2 now, and, I probably should live, but, I think I'd rather, hang out with my buddies and, maybe play Call of Duty on PS4. No, get bigger, get stronger, get faster, do whatever you can to work on your strength, your ability, your strength, your mobility, your baseball ability, all of that. We can't become lazy right now, even though this is the perfect time to be lazy. So there's a lot said there, but I think everybody kind of gets the drift.
Oh, very well said. Different times, and like you said, it just calls for some outside the box thinking.
Absolutely.
So, well, that's all we have for you. Thanks, Coach Wiggins, for joining us.
Yeah, just one thing that I want to say to all of Recruits Nation. We don't have answers that you guys might want us to have right now. We don't know when we're going to play next. We don't know what these tournament companies are thinking, but I can assure you that when we can get on the baseball field, we're going to play baseball. We'll play through October, November if we have to. It's kind of the beauty of the summer leading into the fall. If we have to scrap a fall season and we have to play the summer season from July to August to September to October, we 100% will. We are wanting to play baseball. We're with you guys 100% and being just starved of baseball right now. So as soon as these restrictions are lifted and we get the clearance to get on a baseball field, we're going to do so. And I promise you that we will keep you guys in constant communication the moment we start hearing things. We're not hearing anything right now. There's a reason why we're not really reaching out with updates, because we simply don't know. But the moment we know something, we'll make sure you guys know as well. Stay safe. We love you all. We miss you all. And we can't wait to get back on the field with you.
Thank you very much for that. Everybody, make sure to check out our channel. We do have a couple of videos up for, a little bit at home training during quarantine. And keep tuned to this channel. We're going to try and deliver more content. Hope everybody stays safe, stay healthy, and take care.
Thanks, guys.